Recorded Books Incorporated presents an unabridged recording of Dodging Red Cloud by Richard S. Wheeler, narrated by George Guidell. This book, copyrighted 1987 by Richard S. Wheeler, is recorded by permission of the author. This performance is copyrighted 1991 by Recorded Books Incorporated. It's September 1868, with winter fast approaching. 3 travelers are on the Bozeman Trail, a new route west pioneered just 5 years before by John M. Bozeman, who was searching for gold. The trail, running through Colorado and Montana, is destined to become a major cattle and emigration road. But in 1868, the Sioux, led by the famous Chief Red Cloud, are terrorizing any and all travelers along the route. And now, Dodging Red Cloud.
Chapter 1. She watched the distant blue-clad troopers angle toward her and knew she would have to stop. She knew what they would say and how she would reply. She tugged the reins to bring the roan mare to a stop and waited in her enameled green buckboard for the soldiers to arrive. They were the last obstacle. Then she would escape this wilderness forever. She adjusted her bonnet. She despised bonnets. They made her look like an immigrant wife. But they were necessary in this hot August sun. Her creamy complexion was her best feature. That, and other assets, and she didn't intend to burn it. She was tempted to make a run for Bozeman Pass and freedom. If she did, the soldiers might simply give up the chase. There was nothing they could do anyway. She glanced behind her. Everything was neatly tied down in the buckboard. Her tent, food, Henry carbine, the 4-shot lady revolver, spare clothes, bedroll, 2 canteens, and all the rest. The 3 cavalry troopers were loping now and would be angling up to her soon. Let them come, then. She'd be all smiles, which was something she was practiced at. She pulled her bonnet off and let her auburn hair cascade, glinting in the high sun. These soldiers would be no different from all the men of Virginia City, who loved her wry smile and sweet voice. She wore a dress that was as revealing of her assets as it was demure, in bottle green velveteen, to match her eyes. It was a dress made for social occasions rather than life along the Bozeman Trail, but she had put it on today for this occasion. And after she got past Fort Ellis, she'd put on something more practical and cool. Ahead of her rose the Bridger Mountains and Bozeman Pass, and beyond that the Yellowstone Valley, the great northern prairies, and Red Cloud. A lieutenant hailed her, and she was glad. It was one thing to be halted by an enlisted man, quite another to be halted by an officer. She smiled prettily, her eyes upon his shoulder bar, and finally upon his face. He was flanked by 2 troopers whose features she didn't notice. The man she did notice had straight ebony hair, a hawk-beak nose, and cold gray eyes that she could see were surveying her from top to bottom. She wiggled slightly and grinned. "Where are you headed, madam?" he asked at last. "Saratoga Springs, New York." "Nice place to go if you can get there," he said thoughtfully. "But you can't. The trail's closed, and we're stopping all traffic." "Red Cloud?" she asked. "The same and more. A lot more."
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.